Hello, everyone. I am here in my first YouTube commentary video to just talk about, I guess, music. I feel like there's a lot I could say about me. I am a independent artist making my own music, and I started putting music on Spotify basically around COVID. And although I was playing since I was five or something, guitar to start. I play a couple instruments. I'm in a band called the Lloyds. So my name is Everett. That is what my name is. That's my name. That's my real government name. And that is my name on Spotify and Apple Music and whatever you stream on. And I also am in a band called the Lloyds. Lloyd is my middle name. And that was a name that I just randomly. It was originally intended just to be a band that just had a name called the Lloyds, and I don't even know why I called it that. But I digress. The reason I'm making this video is just to talk about, I guess, maybe some things that I can share to maybe help other people in their music journey, or maybe to offer small advice on the process of song making, or just and also sharing just my experience because maybe that helps a little bit. So again, I've been making music, I guess, most of my life, and I've seriously started releasing music about it's the end of 2025, and I started probably in summer of 2020, so 5 years, less than 5 years. And I think that there are many things that, for one thing, I always think about is that there goes Maggie barking. She's always doing that. The one thing to think about is that no matter where you are in your music making journey, people are going to try to tell you. You'll see Instagram reels or TikToks or YouTube shorts. People will give you advice on how to do this, or what is someone like Rick Rubin. I don't think that there's nothing to learn from Rick Rubin. I think there are some creative processes that he uses that I feel like I try to embody a little bit, and just not one of them just being not too obsessed with. I think one thing that's easy to do, especially when you're first starting, is to, let's say you opened up a synthesizer. For me, I feel like one of the earliest things I used was Alchemy, which is one of the default synths in Logic Pro. You can look at all of the knobs. If you went to the advanced view of that and went to see all of the different knobs, and there's like 4 different sources you can choose and things like that, it's really confusing. But one, presets, especially in Logic, if you're a beginner, Logic is so good because you don't have to program a lot of your own stuff, and you don't have to download a lot of things. The library is really good because they actually bought. I don't want to. It was possibly Omnisphere. I think it might have been Omnisphere that they bought and basically made that into Alchemy. I could be wrong about that. It was some sort of deal like that. And so basically what I'm saying is that you say you were to open the Alchemy synth and you see all the knobs, and one thing you would think would be like, oh, this looks so confusing and difficult. And I feel like, for one, it's music, and there's not necessarily a great way to do it when it really comes down to it. It depends on what you're trying to do, if you're going to get played on the radio, but also crazy things have become popular. So it's relating to the main point of that people are going to say this is what you're supposed to do. People will say this is what you're meant to do for it to be good. And yes, there's good things. Music theory is good because, especially if you're in a band or something, because you can communicate that, or just knowing what is an easy chord that you're supposed to change to or something like that. It's useful for sure. But also at the same time, you don't want to lose that ability to step outside of what normally is the format that people are doing, and will do that almost as a mistake. You're not going to, especially if you're starting out, you're just going to try to fool around with whatever you got and have fun with it. And I feel like if you're doing that, I forgot what I was talking about, but the essence of what I'm saying is you have to color outside the lines. but in a way, the classic thing, you have to know what you want to do. How a reference track is a good example. If you had a reference track for, you wanted to make a Charlie XCX song, you could pull in her song into your DAW and then basically copy it, and that's a good way of knowing, like, this is that genre, the items that you need for the full recipe to make that kind of song. And it's definitely helpful to do things like that. And you can even, people will say, oh, don't do that, but just, you can pull in a song and then just try to make a different song on top of that song and then mute the song in the simple sense. Honestly, I think it's making me think now. Another important thing is, don't overthink what you're doing, because it can apply to a lot of creative things. But like, if you're doing a song and you're like, I really want this to be good, I want it to be perfect, you're gonna be endlessly working on a song. And I sort of think that the more you mess, if there are things, it depends on how well you recorded it and where you're coming from. If you had a bunch of presets, or if you're working with splice loops or something like that, and you have like a good mic and you only really need to put a few things on your vocal chain, it's like, don't do things because that's what people do. I think is like, I'm gonna say that again. Don't put something on your DAW that is just something that other people do. If you're making a song and that's where you're at, just do what you, add stuff that seems good, it makes it sound better. And I would start by just adding in each track individually. You would be building your song. Don't mess with it too much unless it's really something that's important to that's like, or there's something messed up about it you need to fix. But get your arrangement, get your stuff recorded and all of your stuff in there, and then go through and be like, oh, what's not working or whatever. I mean, if there's something really bothering you, of course, go and pull. Again, even what I'm telling you, I'm kind of saying don't follow my advice, but I think it's important to maybe don't follow advice in the right way, because I think ultimately, if you are doing music, you really want to be doing something that's maybe different and cool, and you have to cultivate, as well as having your, I know music theory. I don't know it that well, but if that, not Siri, if you know music theory, if you didn't have any creativity on top of that, it's not really going to be anything except maybe what other people have done. And you can move it around, sure, but also at the same time, for example, there's not, as far as I know, that much a music theory for some of the sounds in metal songs on guitar. The way to do those things is kind of nebulous, and it's kind of like a passed down thing that you have to learn. What every single technique that Eddie Van Halen knows, it's like your guitar teacher might not even know that, and you would probably have to find different people who know how to do these different things. So I don't know. Honestly, this video is sort of like a test. I don't really do this kind of stuff. I've done live streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, and I've done talking that way. And a little bit more about me. I was a child actor and did acting when I was young, and I'm comfortable just talking in front of the camera, I guess. And I can just talk random shit about stuff I like. So if you got anything from this, let me know. Honestly, don't follow my advice. It's bad. But I will say, just try to be creative, but don't maybe try to be too somewhat. Like, if you're really creative, a good way to maybe start is be creative with your arrangement, and don't be creative. Don't make it too much. You can do that, and it can be good, and you can do whatever you want, really. But do what you feel is right first. And if that doesn't work, then you can look it up. You can ask ChatGPT. I don't care. Just, if it's a song that you really care about and you want it to be good, and you have this idea in your head, just do whatever you can to not be upset and stressed out and overworking yourself during that process, because it's going to be better if you're just letting that flow instead of being too nitpicky about everything. So, I don't know. Check out my music videos. I've made music videos. Check out my music on Spotify. And honestly, me and Dylan, the Lloyds, the other Lloyds member, co-founder, Dylan Williams, on Spotify as well. So we were talking about maybe doing some sort of gaming videos or just some kind of content that would be fun and entertaining. So I don't know, maybe some music stuff, we'll see. And more music videos are definitely coming. So thanks for watching, and zip zop zooey.